Were you speaking?
Well, today I am very privileged to be talking to a very interesting lady. She goes by the name of Soul Enchantress. Hello and welcome.
Thank you, Ian. Lovely to be here.
So tell me, Soul Enchantress. Now, I've already read your bio, so I know what it means. But for you, on an energetic level, and we'll talk about
Mm-hmm.
energy in that shortly. So, Soul
Of course.
Enchantress, where does that come from?
Well, I mean, I my business career started as an international fashion designer and a luxury magazine publisher, etc. But then a decade ago, when I actually decided to step into who I truly was and to step into doing the work that I do today in the energetic realm as a cosmic sound alchemist and a financial wellness thought leader and a speaker, not to mention a sorceress, seer, and a shaman. So,
I was going to get to that. Don't shut me down. I was
yes.
going to ask you about that. Keep going.
So, I was actually really strongly guided to step into an identity that could hold and was the container for the work that I was going to do, which obviously is what I am doing now. And it it began to feel, it was almost like whenever anyone used my birth name, which was also to do with the brands that I was running global businesses on and stuff, it just felt like I was wearing someone else's skin. So this is the name I was guided to use. And, it was Soul Enchantress, and now everybody calls me Soul. So this is how it came about. And so it's my
Okay.
brand name as well as my name. And so the story goes.
So I can call you Soul, and it's a beautiful name, and we all have one, and you wear it
Yes.
energetically, obviously, which is
Yes.
terrific.
And
So
also,
go on.
sorry, can I just say, yes, I didn't realize when I was using the word enchantress. So, when I have to do my first and last name, it's actually Soul as the first and enchantress as the last name. But enchant actually means becoming one with the divine through chanting.
Hmm.
So, and since I'm a cosmic sound alchemist, I just thought that was just so perfect. But I didn't do it on, consciously.
And normally that's what happens, isn't it? We
Mm,
numerology and astrology and all of that sort of stuff, everything
hmm.
tends to align when we
Mm,
don't necessarily, we have an intention,
think.
but we don't necessarily, we allow the universe to do their thing. Now, you just mentioned cosmetic
Hmm.
sound alchemist. Some people will
Cosmic,
be scratching
cosmic,
their, yep, sorry. Some people will be
cosmic.
scratching their head. Cosmic sound alchemist. What
Hmm.
is that?
So I've been doing this since I was like 4 years old. However, it's actually high vibrational light frequencies, and it streams through my voice. So even when I'm speaking normally, those frequencies come through. But they were more like transmissions that were coming through. And my whole time that I have been running this business, I incorporated them into all of the client work that I did. And I would call them cosmic sound transmissions or cosmic transmissions. But then in the last, or maybe like the halfway mark, my vocal cords started to change. And so now they are not just the transmissions, but I actually call them cosmic sound symphonies. It's the most beautiful melodic frequencies that flow through me. And here's the thing. So everybody who hears me when I speak to large audiences, or if I'm doing an interview, usually they'll say, so you're a trained singer? I'm like, no, I cannot hold a tune.
Yeah, you have a beautiful voice. I will give you that. So
Oh,
let's
thank you.
let's talk about other things that you
So,
say.
sorry, with the sound, it actually,
Hmm.
what it does is those vibrational, because, everything is sound, the universe is, sound is like the primordial force of creation. So you are actually sound in various different frequencies. So the sound that actually streams through me, it literally harmonizes you back to your soul essence.
I get
And
it. I get it purely and simply
yes,
with sound healing and how it
yes,
operates on a
yes, exactly.
cellular level. So I totally get that.
Yes.
So You mentioned earlier a shaman, a seer, a sorceress on top of your being an alchemist. How does that all come to be, and what in what realms or field do you bring that into your work?
Mhm. So I look at it as not so much as different things. I look at it as different spokes in the one wheel. And those are all the different facets that I bring to the table when I work with anyone or the work that I, offer the world. So what it allows me to do is, because of my business background, and obviously I have an economics degree as well. So from my business background in running and creating global brands and working with some of the most beautiful luxurious brands in the world, what happens is I've got that material, physical space or dimension, if you want to call it, and then my sorcery, my shamanism, and seership, and there's a whole host of other things, and the sound, it all kind of comes into play. And so that's why my clients actually say that I'm a force to be reckoned with, their words, because it allows for that energetic piece and the physical business world to merge and meld and to create this beautiful symphony that, allows you to experience financial bliss and deep fulfillment, and to kind of guide people in order to achieve their huge goals.
And on that, you do
Mm-hmm.
work with people from all over the world, and
Yes.
your mission and vision, from what I can understand, is about empowering individuals to achieve goals, experience financial bliss, like living a deep, fulfilling life, and
Mm-hmm.
doing
While
it
you
while
relax and
one is
rejuvenate.
relaxing and regenerating. Sounds beautiful.
Rejuvenating.
How is it possible?
Yes.
Rejuvenating? How is that
Yeah.
possible?
Well, it actually started quite a few years ago. I had a dream. I looked at the business world, and it is all about the struggle and the stress and the time poorness and trying to make things happen, and it eventually is clouded in overwhelm and leads to burnout and sickness, ailments, and disease. And I was like, there should be another way. There's another way to do business. And I was like, I want to create a business and a lifestyle that allows me to achieve my huge goals while I relax and rejuvenate. And I also want to experience financial bliss and deep fulfillment, instead of, as most of your listeners even, and most business owners and entrepreneurs will say, they want to feel that deep sense of financial peace when they look at their bank statements, or when they think about their finances, instead of wanting to dive under the covers and hide. So I was like, I wanted to create a business which allowed me to experience financial bliss and achieve my huge goals and be deeply fulfilled while I relaxed and rejuvenated. So that was what I wanted to create. And then one day, obviously, because I'm a sorceress and a shaman, I had this vision. So that vision then led me on this journey of exploration and discovery, and that vision is what led me to uncovering like this powerful process that allows you to uncover your unique pathway to financial bliss and deep fulfillment, and to discover the fastest way to get to your goals, like peacefully and smoothly and pleasurably. It's all about the smooth success trajectory when it comes to business success and to your own success. So that's what I wanted to create. And then, like one day I realized, hold on, I'm actually living that life. And that's the work that I offer now.
And on that, you mentioned earlier about we're all lights, vibration, and frequency. Let's just talk quickly about business and or money. They have their unique frequencies, don't they? And would it
Mm-hmm.
be fair to say that many people
Mm-hmm.
don't understand that? Certainly the people that you work with.
Well, they do, because my clients are like really high profile global business leaders. So I work from, my clients can be small business and entrepreneurs, or those who run multi-billion-dollar corporations. So The top end of the scale, of course, they know how to make money, but they don't understand the piece about financial bliss and deep fulfillment. So, and then the other spectrum of clients would be like, how do I make more money? How do I become more successful? How do I expand my business? But in any part of that spectrum of, the larger businesses or the small businesses, you're still asking those same questions, how do I make more money? How do I expand my business? And how do I become more successful? But the more successful and the more money you have, you also want to feel at peace with that money, because a lot of people who have a lot of money are not really happy. So that's where the fulfilling piece comes into it. And it all starts from that relaxed, rejuvenated perspective. Can I just add one more thing?
You can, absolutely.
So the thing is, what you create something, I always say this energetically, whatever you create, the energy you create something from is the energy that it permeates through to the results and whatever you create. So if you're creating out of a stress and fear, and that you're not going to have enough, or that your competitors are going to take your profits, or whatever it is, then what you create is still going to bring you more of that energy. So that's where my relaxed, rejuvenated perspective comes from, where when you create from that energy, you receive more of that. But now, to get to that, that's the work.
Yeah. So on that, you obviously have a whole library that people can get access to by working with you. Just take us through that, what that might look like. As an example, you talk about relaxing and regenerating, as an example. So for someone listening to us today, they're going, well, geez, I'm in a high profile role. I'm really stressed. You want me to relax. Now, I certainly get it from an energetic level.
Yes.
What you're talking about, but a lot of people may not. So give us your spin on that.
Okay, so the thing when it comes to, so most people, what they want is they want time and money and energy. But then those who have a lot of money may be time poor, and also the energy piece is the wellness piece, right? So they may fall sick and whatever it is. So, and then those who have a lot of time may not have the money. And so it's always like you're missing one or the other. So as I said, I've built a life where I enjoy it all. I have the time, the money, and the energy, and I'm not missing any of those three, or instead of lacking one of them. So what I realized is there were all these pieces of wisdom that I was channeling, and there's the sound components to it. There's meditations and, exercises, whatever it is. And over the last decade, when I was working with different levels of clients and also the different areas that we were working on, whether it is their business, their success, their life, their relationships, their wellness, I realized that there was this massive library that had formed of all of these energetic tools and principles and concepts and everything. And so, again, there was another whole vision thing that led me to creating this library. And if anyone wants, they can message me. I can send you the article that I wrote about how the library came about. And when the library was created, I realized that it was this really powerful toolbox that you can step into and achieve that relaxed, rejuvenated state. But the library itself acts like, you go in there with a question and you go into the vaults, and whatever it is that is right for you, it will call to you, and you actually then partake of that, whatever that piece of wisdom is, whatever that piece of sound is, or if it's an exercise you've got to do, whatever that may be. And that gets you to that state, that gets you to whatever solution you're looking for, the strategy or whatever. It kind of calms you down so that you can receive the information. So I don't hold people's hands. Like, that's the whole, I used to do that, but I don't actually do that anymore. It's more empowering someone to find their own unique way of getting there, because, the success signature for every single person energetically is as unique as their fingerprint. So you can't actually, borrow goals and copy someone else's strategy and then hope that it'll work for you, because no two people's and no two companies or businesses' success strategies are the same. And that's energetically. So when I understood that piece, I realized, instead of me hand holding and telling one by one each person what to do, it is so much more powerful when you can go in there yourself and you're guided to what you need in that moment. And then you create your own pathway.
I have no doubt that you've been doing this for a long time, and you would have some fascinating testimonials or clients that you've worked with. And I know you've got privacy restrictions and stuff like that. But are there a
Yeah.
couple of great stories that you could give us as an example, if you like, people who engaged with you to
Sure.
work and they were at a certain part in
Yes.
their evolution and where they ended up at the end?
Yes, of course. So with clients, again, I want them to come to me, and then, when they're looking to achieve a certain goal, or they have a vision for the next level that they want to achieve, whatever. So it's like stepping in to work with me each time you want to kind of climb up the next rung of success. And so it's not like, I kind of work with you every single day for years and years and years. You come in, work with me, go, fly, then you want to soar to the next level, you come back in again. And I can give you like little anecdotal things to do with, say, for example, money or something. So once there was a client who was, their money flow, they had a multi-million-dollar company, and their money flow suddenly started to trickle. And the big contracts and things that they were waiting on all of a sudden started to dwindle and get postponed and whatever. And then they found out when they did the work that it actually had nothing to do energetically. Those restrictions, that dissonance, that energetic resistance had nothing to do with their company, their money, their clients, or the work, or their product or services. It was actually to do with the relationship they had with their son.
Yeah,
So,
wow.
yes, and that's how money works. And so they shifted that, and literally within the hour, they actually had a project that was just like getting the amber light that got green lighted. And then as they kept on working on it, I believe today they have the most amazing relationship with their son, and, their business keeps on thriving. But obviously, you go through these phases. Like, just because you do something once doesn't mean that that's the end all and be all. It's like you need to have a shower every day, not just one day and think you're going to be clean for life. So that's the energetic piece. Is pretty much, it's a maintenance game.
And it would be fair to say, and you know this better than anybody else,
Mm-hmm.
that's a classic example of energy, I guess, toward the son and mirroring back towards the parents, and not really affecting the company, as you said, per se, but it does actually have an impact. And that's the whole thing that's so fascinating, isn't it, about
Yeah.
frequency and sound and vibration
Mm-hmm.
and light at that next
Yeah.
level.
But I mean, I use my library of wisdom and sound for myself all the time. And just even the other day, I used it. And each time I'm blown away with how powerful it is. And even though I'm the one who created it, like all of these channeled codices and stuff, it came through me. But obviously, it's not my brain that's doing it. So that's where the power lies. That's where the energy lies. And that's where that, that packet of information is so amazing and on point. And you just said, what did you just say? There was something that I wanted to touch on what you just said just then.
Oh, just about that, something out of left field. So in regards to your client who were having something happening between them and their son impacted, generally on what was going on in their business, although it wasn't until they went into your
Yes.
directory.
Oh,
But that's
yes.
all I was saying, how frequency and vibration and light and sound all impact, but at a higher level than
Yes.
us average people probably think that it does, I guess, is the point I'm trying to make.
I remembered what I wanted to say. So, yes, and that's the whole point. Like, so my work when it comes to like business wellness, I speak about this in depth, and especially like to corporates, it's like your the energy and the energetics of every single person that comes in contact with your business. So definitely all of your employees, but also it's the energy of the place and the land and the, your office and everything like that, regardless of where you work from. And also, it's the energetic. So if someone, and I've seen this happen, so say an employee has a bad time, I don't know, they might have they've got a breakup, or they've got someone sick, or their mind is not in the right place. You will actually find, if you don't harmonize those energetics, over time, they will impact your bottom line. And so this is what happens even in the largest of corporations, you see. Everybody's energy, and it's not just, the success trajectory of a company is directly proportional to the energetic blueprint of its leader. I mean, this is what I speak about. So that leader could be the CEO of a multinational, or it could be, the solopreneur who's running their business. But it's not just their energy, it's also everybody that comes in contact with. So even if someone's doing your website, their energy, it's actually really crucial that every little point of contact that puts anything into your business creates anything. So if you have a factory, like all of those people who do the work for you, like it's, it really does affect your business. And most people, and 99.9% of people just don't realize that.
So what is, I guess then, if I'm a business owner and I'm hearing you explain that to me, where does one start on that? From the
With
person
themselves.
who's serving
With themselves.
obviously, but then, so yes, okay, so you've answered the question. So you start with yourself, and then how does one then be that leader so that it filters down through the organisation?
Because the more that you work on yourself, the more that you refine your frequency, the more that you harmonize with the resonance of the goal, or the result, or the revenue level, or the desire that you want to achieve, the more that you harmonize. So the more that you harmonize within you, your energetics, and the more you create resonance between you and your goal, you and your revenue level, you and the vision that you have for your business. As you refine those frequencies, you'll also find that your team and everything else, it will subtly start to change. So the version of you that is then the most refined version that's doing that and is getting more and more of that purer essence of who you really are, and you want to be that leader, you will find that you then start relating to those people's frequencies because they also change. And even though you don't realize it, it's kind of like in that, it's called quantum entanglement. Like by being around your frequency, they themselves will change. And even if, you're running a digital business, even if your employees are across the world, or whoever's your suppliers are across the world, they can actually, that version that you are connecting with them will be a slightly different version, even though you don't realize it. So that will start to change. And if someone is completely in dissonance with your vision that you're holding, and you hold yours, your frequency, and you can harmonize, either that person will leave, or you will find someone, and you'll find someone better, or that person will change to become the type of person that should be in the organization. Does that make sense?
Yeah, absolutely.
And then obviously, and then you can also, give your employees, depending on how much you want to invest in them, tools for them to harmonize themselves. But it has to be that, you are you, and then your business is also a ball of energy, as I say. And then if you put your team as the other ball, all those three balls have to be in harmony with each other. And most businesses are run in dissonance. Like the leader is one thing, the business is another entity, and then the team is another entity, the clients are another. But instead, you've got to have this beautiful, harmonious interplay of energies, but it all starts with the leader.
So if someone is now contemplating starting a business, where would you suggest they start? So what you said is great information. So there's two sorts of people. There's people who are the CEO of their own business now, and you sort of touched on that, and getting in touch with you and getting some guidance would be a good start. And you can do that through the website is a great way, which is Soul Enchantress.
SoulEnchantress.com. SoulEnchantress.com. Yes.
Yep. The other way is I'm sitting around at the moment. I'm not personally, but just as a guide.
I understand.
And I'm thinking, well, everything that you've said to me makes sense. So from a business perspective, I've got an idea. Where would I start? Would I start working on myself first,
Yes,
or
yes, always. Yes, and that's the other thing. Always start on you first. And I also say, like, most people, they go and hire the best marketers, the best sales experts, the best PR and advertising agencies. But if you're not energetically tuned to your goal and your revenue levels and the vision of your business, then that is really money down the drain. So it's not anybody else, it is you, and getting really clear on what it is that you want to do. So many, in tools, I would say it just really depends on, to anyone and everyone, I'd say jump into my library. That is literally the best investment you will ever make. But they also have a book, so they can read my book and start there. But it's not, I don't like guide people into this is how you start a business and you build a website and you do this. That's not the work I do. It's the work that I offer is that you will get clear on what it is that you need to do when you know how to harmonize yourself.
No, and I wasn't. I was just going down the road of someone's listening to us today and going, "Well, I've got this idea. I want to start a business." And the point that you've reaffirmed is, well, you've got to start on yourself first. So you just spoke about your book. Tell us a little bit about your book and how can one get hold of that?
Everything is on my website, soulenchantress.com. So my book, which is called When Worlds Align, I launched that a couple of years ago, and it's really a great starting point for, I've got a whole section on money and business and the energetics of it, about relationships, about your life, about the energetics in wellness, about the cosmos. Like, it actually is like this whole spherical nugget of wisdom that is to do with your money, your business, your success, your life, and wellness, and the cosmos. So that's a real great starting point. But the book actually is complimentary and included inside the library. But some people just buy the book first. But the book is a great starting point. And also, I think at the moment I have a cosmic transmission that I offer, which is for peace, bliss, and joy. So that is to harmonize your frequency. So the book and the transmission would be a great start. And then really the depth and the deepest way to work, to kind of access my work, is to step into my Sacred Wisdom Library and Cosmic Sound Temple. And that's where, you will work on yourself. Like, the person you go in as and the person you come out is going to be different. So, I offer, I think, a month and 3 months at the moment. It doesn't matter which. Obviously, the longer you immerse yourself in any work, the more benefit you get. But the person you are at the beginning of the month and the end of the month, and at the end of the beginning of the 3 months and the end of the 3 months will be unrecognizable if you do the work.
So you're a motivational speaker. I know that you speak at lots of conferences and seminars, and you do workshops all around the globe. Are there any questions that tend to be asked of you at those sorts of events that surprise you, I guess?
Not so much surprise. It's more, I realize how, no matter what level, like even those who are successful and may have built huge companies, like, they are not as cluey about the energetics, the unseen and the unrealized aspects that really drive the game of business and life. And that's really what I'm surprised about. It's not so much the questions or anything, because I see the same patterns. So whether someone is aiming to make their first 100,000 or $1 million or $10 million, or someone is already creating the millions and they're looking for their billions of dollars, I find that the patterns are the same. It's just the numbers that change, and the principles and the concepts, the wisdom remains the same. You're just applying it slightly differently and getting a different result because you're at a different stage. So the wisdom comes in to help you whichever stage you're at. So I use the same things that I would have used at the beginning of my journey today, but it gives me a different result. Does that make sense?
Absolutely. Yeah, it does. Because you're
Yeah.
also
And
evolving. As you're
yes,
working on yourself, you're evolving every day, aren't you?
yes, yes. And also, like I always say, that my messages and my everything, my work is multidimensional. So it's like you're peeling back the layers, and every time you come back to the same uh, piece of wisdom, you'll find something else in there. Even I do this. I go to my library and I find something completely different because I'm a different person today. You know, you've
Mm.
evolved. So you get that next layer of medicine, the next layer of wisdom, the next strategy.
It's really, really intriguing, and we've only got a couple of minutes left. So, what I want to ask
Yes.
you to summarize what we've spoken about. Someone's listening to us today, and they could wear a multiple hats, if you like, and you've worked with them all. What would
Mm-hmm.
be your best piece of advice from where you started to where you are now, and where they can start? Obviously, going to your website,
Mm-hmm.
but what would be your best advice?
Is literally the biggest thing I can give them is that they really need to get clear on who they are. Because unless they know who they are, they actually cannot create what they are desiring to create and become that version. So it's not about, manifesting is focusing on the result, but instead the secret to achieving your huge goals is in becoming the person who has achieved your goal. So, that is my work, and that's what I offer the world, because if you know who you are and then you can become that version of you that you want to become, that is the energetic piece. And that's how you actually achieve your results, and be truly, truly, truly authentic to you. So don't go borrowing goals or strategies and hacks, and don't copy what other people are doing, because your success is innately and uniquely your pathway. You can't travel someone else's.
And that's the thing that stayed with me today in talking to you across multiple
Mm-hmm,
levels that we've spoken about is my very own uniqueness, your very own uniqueness.
mm-hmm,
And people listening to us today are very unique in their own way. We all have our own set of skills. There's
mm-hmm,
things we need to learn on this particular journey, and you have a library that can assist all of us
mm-hmm.
in our steps forward.
Yes. And also, really, I say that it's all within you. So, my library and the work that I offer, it's that my vibration is allowing you to unlock it. I'm giving you the key, but it's you are the one who's going to create it. You are the one who's actually going to have the aha moments, and you're the one who's going to go, oh my goodness, I know exactly what it is that I need to do and how I need to do it and what I need to do, And that's
So are
what's
there,
amazing.
so do you get some people that go, this is a bit woo woo. Come on, soul, you're just playing with
It
me. Do you
is.
get those people?
No, well, the thing is, I stand in my, it took me a while to do this, but I stand and I claim the fact that I am one of the world's most powerful sorcerers, seers, and shamans. Like, I claim that. So yes, of course it is. I can see and I can smell and taste and know and harness energies like that is cosmic. I stand in that authenticity, and of course, yes, it is. But you're only calling it woo woo because it's unknown to you and it's unseen. But it doesn't mean that it's not real. It's like electricity. You get the benefit of it and it can help you, but it can also electrocute you. So that's the power. Yes, if you want to call it woo woo, absolutely. But then bring it
Well, it is.
on.
It's like
That's
I talk to people about frequency all the time, and I say to them, but I can call you on your mobile device anywhere in the world, and if you want to answer, you'll pick it up. And how is that possible? And they look at me, and I say, frequency works exactly the same way, which is exactly what you're saying. So
yes,
the same with
exactly. So
Wi-Fi. You can walk into a cafe and you can
yes.
have Wi-Fi. So it's
And
it's
it was
very,
there
very
all the time. It was there all the time, but you chose not to use it. So it's
yes.
woo, yeah, it is woo woo, but it's not really.
No, it isn't. Really have enjoyed having our chat today. There's so many other layers that we could get into, but time will beat us. So if
We could
anyone
do
wants
a
to know,
rerun.
yeah, if anyone wants to know more about your book, they want to
Hmm.
know about what you're currently offering at the moment, they want to work with you, I will let you explain the best way to get in contact with you. How's that?
Easiest way is to head over to my website, soulenchantress.com, and you can step into working with me. And also, I'd love to hear from you. So feel free to message me from there.
All right, Soul Enchantress, beautiful name. You are a gifted soul. It's
Thank
been
you.
my pleasure to talk with you today, and let's do it again soon.
Thank you so much, Ian. Appreciate it. Ciao.
All right, there you go. Hopefully,